Hey everybody, this is Day in the Life of a Songwriter. It's Tony Campbell. And I just like to talk about a few things. It's about Thursday, March, I think it's the 11th. Don't forget to set your clocks forward, which brings forward an hour on the 14th. One thing I'll just go ahead, I like Guitar Age. It's a magazine here. This is the 30th anniversary of Van Halen, and it has a lot of good tablature. You can get bare bones, and there's a lot more music in here as opposed to like the articles. I mean, I like reading articles, don't get me wrong, but like discovering new music and maybe some chords I hadn't thought of or hadn't played in a while and forgotten them, or either just hadn't utilized them. So I highly recommend that. Another thing I'd like to talk about is there's more to life than whatever you think you're doing, meaning like, your career and that kind of thing. And while on the subject of that, there's a website called moretolife.org, and it's www.moretolife.org. And the way that this works, or the way it was explained to me, is you kind of write out what you did last month. So you would kind of like, you would list things as they're important to you. You would break them down and be like, what's going on in your professional career, spiritual, financial, and personal. So you kind of start off with a summary sentence and you say, last month, and you stay positive, of course. This is the kind of whole point of doing this, and kind of reflect on where you're at and what you're doing. And it's kind of goal setting at the same time. Good news from last month, and I did this in January of this year, and that's kind of how the heading is last month review. The good news from last month, and you put the month. So we would put March, February. But when I did this, I did it in January. So I put personal, and I put health, and talked about that. And then professional, whatever your career is, I talked about some of my goals or what I had accomplished and felt good about from the last month. Spiritually, talked about praise and worship, and just the idea of hope, and just praying for peace and for people that or may not know every day, and just to live healthier and make a place a better world. Financially, to kind of budget yourself, be a budgetary, and have checks and balances, and be more accountable for yourself. Now this is me talking, of course. Personally, I just, what can you, don't be, you got to be critical, but you don't have to be negative. So you can be kind of like, what can you do about your personality traits that kind of stick out? That it could be something as simple as like, I want to socialize more, so overcoming fear and things like that. So it can be anything, as long as it's positive. And then once you do all that, you kind of take and say, you get ready for the next, you put your goals down, what you would like to accomplish for the next month, and you summarize that. Then what you do at the end of the month, and you go back to the next month, and you kind of write down, and then when you get done breaking this down, you can see if you actually obtained or progressed any. And this is great for journaling, like writing in a journal, and kind of gives it more of an outline, I guess, or something. Of course, writing free form, there's nothing wrong with that, but you can kind of add this to it. If you want to do this one day a week, that would be good. But it's recommended you do it once a month. But anyway, the website again is called www.moretolife.org, and just check it out, and you'll be very, very surprised, just as I was, what you learn from it. Anyway, this is Tony Campbell, Day in the Life of a Songwriter, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.